Hello gamers, Magehammer here. Welcome to another edition of Tonight on Magehammer's Game Table, where tonight we are continuing my series of solo RPGing in my homebrew RPG 6 Dice Wastelands, post-apocalyptic, inspired by one of my favorite games of all time, Gamma World. As I mentioned, this is episode 5. At the end of last episode, our heroes returned triumphant from an ancient ruin where they overcame some living metal and a arduous journey home to bring a very important piece of equipment back to their village, where they were able to allow a major energy source they had found in a previous mission to be repaired and ready to continue to provide energy for their village for generations to come. So they've had a few weeks to rest. As you know, if you've been following the series, Gronk and Testermon, two of the characters here that will be featured, are from a nearby village, and they are basically mercenaries, but they have decided to stay on in this town, especially because they've received many accolades and pretty much have been hailed as heroes over the past several weeks. Almost pretty much right at home. Well, after a couple of weeks of resting, they are about to embark upon another mission. But before we get to that, as promised, I used my rules for advancement to advance my characters. Basically, advances. There are no levels. My game's a levelless. Yeah, a levelless system, and so it's basically based on these attributes here. And so for Kathmandu, oh, and they also roll stamina when they advance as well. So Kathmandu became skilled in agility. Once you get an attribute up to 3D, you add you can use an advance to make them skilled in that particular attribute. And so that means they get to reroll one failed roll anytime they make an agility test. Also, weapons attacks that happen to involve agility also count as, though they're attack tests, they also count as agility tests, so you'll be able to reroll a die there as well. Cherry Red decided that she was going to up her agility to come into become even with her strength, so that she could roll 5 dice with both her battle axe and the pistol that she has that was passed down to her from her family. So she took another dice in agility. Thus, she's not skilled in none of them. And of course, you see her stamina is 19 and Kathmandu's stamina is 15. Testermon took a skilled advance in mind. So there's that, because, you know, he's trying to continue his knowledge, and he has 15 stamina. And of course, Gronk took a skilled in strength, which is going to make him even more powerful, because that with the larger mutation, that increases his strength die to 4D. And he, of course, is up to a whopping 21 stamina. So there's the advanced. So we'll set them off to the side. And we'll see if that allows them to be able to survive better. Though they've been doing pretty well so far, I would have to say. So for this mission, they are called before the mayor and a council of elders. And they say, "Fortunately, you all survived your rite of passage to make you to the heroes you are becoming. However, as you know, many of our young people constantly go out into the world, into the wilderness, into the wastelands, to become prominent citizens as well. They must bring back 2 artifacts, as you know. Well, one such group, 4 of our finest, went out on their rite of passage, and they have not returned in over 14 suns. We need you to go find them, either to bring back their corpses so that they can be interred here on their home village soil, or rescue them if they are captured or trapped. But either way, your mission is to find out what has happened to them and bring them back one way or another. We are going to provide you with a sniffle dog. The sniffle dogs has their scent and will lead you the directions that they went. And it is imperative that this village try to maintain as many of its population as it can as we continue to try to survive the best we can and flourish as well. What say you? Well, of course. Of course you will. You're heroes. And of course you will be able to keep any tech or any domars or any other kind of treasures that you find on your journey. And you leave immediately. A mutant comes up with a snuffledog, which is basically looks like kind of like a cross between a dog and an anteater. And it's sniffing around. And the handler has it smell each of the shirts or clothing or item of the missing villagers. And they hand the reins to Testermon. And Testermon, well, should he take the lead? Sure. Testermon will walk behind. And they go. Before they leave, they also tell them the names of the missing mutants are Kresha, Hunk, Hoopa, and Horple. 3 H names. I know. So, they know their names. They have the Snuffledog, who will be able to take them where it needs to go. And so they begin their journey. Cherry Red says, "We will bring them back. Fear not." And they take off through the palisade that surrounds their village, out through the up the side of the crater that also shelters the village, and out into the wilderness. The Snuffledug takes them off to the west, which they have not yet been outside of into the wilderness. And then this side of their crater is not as beautiful as the other road. It's almost pretty much a wasteland up to this point. And so they set out down the road, led by Testermon and the Snuffledug. So they're going to travel. They're not 100% sure how many days they're going to travel because obviously these villagers they're hunting, trying to find, are lost. So they don't really know their destination. And so they set out, plenty of rations provided to them by the elders, their hearts full of hope and their senses sharp. As you could tell, these will be the stamina points of Gronk. These are the stamina points of Testermon. These are the stamina points of Kathmandu. And this is the stamina points of Cherry Red. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to roll randomly to see how many days they're going to need to travel. And then I'm going to roll encounters. I rolled 3 times during the day and 1 time during the night for each of the days that they travel. That's what I've been doing in the past. Seems to work pretty well. And then the Snuffledug will continue to snuffle, and we'll see what happens. So should I do a 1d8, 1d6, 1d10 for how many days the rite of passage villagers have been missing? I'm feeling Well, I mean, the name of the game is 6 Dice Fantasy. Let's do a d6. So, 5 days. Now, obviously, our heroes don't know that, but it's quite a bit. So, the first day, they have an encounter towards the end of the day. So, if I roll a 1 on a d6, then it indicates an encounter. So, they're out in the Wastelands, following along this road that's littered with different detritus of both the ancients and the moderns. And let's see what they encounter. 17. Oh. Well, I'm going to see if they each make a mind test. So the blue dice are Tester Mon. The red dice are Cherry Red. The green dice are Kathmandu. And the bone dice, these khaki colored dice, are Gronk. So Tester Mon gets 3 dice and a reroll because he's skilled. Kathmandu gets 1 die. And Cherry Red gets 2 dice. And Gronk gets 1. I'm gonna say that the things that are hidden very well, and they need a 6 to be able to detect them. Well, Cherry Red and Tester Mon both detect presences near them, far off in the trees. The trees are not close to the road on this particular part of the wasteland, but they are set back 30 meters or so, maybe, off the road. And Tester Mon goes, "Whew." Cherry Red, "Yes, I sense something." Tester Mon says, "Halt." The Snoofledug is sniffing, and it's all it can focus on is the scent that it has in its nose, and it's pooling. Because apparently the villagers went this direction when they were heading out onto their rite of passage. They hold a moment, they look around, they brandish their weapons, but nothing appears. But they're pretty sure that whatever they sense, whatever they heard, whatever they saw move out of the corner of their eye, is in the woods, but they cannot see him. So they hold for a few moments to see if they're going to be ambushed. No ambush comes, so they press on. Nighttime, there is no encounter. They decide they're not going to make a fire. They don't want to give their position away, especially because they felt those presences early in the day. They don't want them to come visit them during the night, and they don't. Second day of travel of 5. It is long, humid, hot trip. Their tempers grow weary, but the air is still. Insects flock around them, but ultimately, no encounter. Nighttime. Once again, that white die, staying consistent, loves to roll the 1s. All right, so they have an encounter at night. Let's see what that is. They have a lantern. Tester Mon has a lantern, but he keeps it lit and hooded over the night in case they need it. But other than that, they don't have any kind of technology or anything that gets them, and they decided still not to light a fire. So let's see what it visits them in the night. Okay. All right, so I'm going to say they set a watch, one of them each hour, and the Sniffledug as well will be on watch with Tester Mon. So Gronk takes first watch, Kathmandu second, Cherry Red third, and Tester Mon fourth. We'll see when this encounter happens. On the third, that's Cherry Red. So Cherry Red needs to make a mind test to see if she can detect whatever it is. And she does not. Now I'm going to roll randomly. It's cherry red. Okay, well, that's going to make this interesting. She gets another mind test and fails. So when she wakes up in the morning, she discovers that ammo for her pistol has been stolen from her pack. I swear I packed it, she says. Weird. Pay better close attention to your stuff, says Gronk. And they continue on their way. Okay, into the third day of travel. And the day passes uneventfully. Let's see if the night passes uneventfully. It does. Fourth day of travel. No encounter. Things are weird and still. The Snoofledoog, they must have followed the road this far. Let's check the nighttime encounter for the fourth night. And there's no encounter. At the beginning of the fifth day, the Snoofledoog goes off trail towards the woods. So they go towards the woods. They follow the Snoofledoog. See if they find any encounters on their way here. They do have one encounter. And I'm going to make that encounter the place where the villagers disappeared. The Snoofledoog takes them past the tree line into the forest. The buzz of insects is here. There's the singing of birds. So, doesn't appear to be anything in the woods that's threatening that. And the Snoofledoog makes his way through some very thick foliage and comes out into a small clearing. And in the middle of this small clearing, it's as if the clearing's been, cleared away with a machete or something. But standing in the clearing is a rectangular doorway, just sitting here in the middle of this very small clearing, in the middle of this wilderness. Snoofledoog goes up to the door and sniffs, starts getting very excited. Sniffs, gets very, very excited. So they see if the door is ajar, so it is open. This must be the place, says Testermon. So they stand before a door and they open it, and he shines his lantern down into it, and he sees a stairway leading down into darkness, a metal graded stairway. It's kind of tight for Gronk, but not that tight. So he's able to get down there, but it's kind of a tight squeeze. But if he has to swing his weapon in the stairway, he may not quite make it. All right, so Testermon's like, the Snoofledoog and I will go first. We must bring him with us in case this is a fairly expansive area, and we will need his nose. Cherry Red's like, very well, I'll follow behind. Catmandu, and then Gronk, you bring up the rear. I follow Testermon. I guess so, you're partners. Let's do that. So they go down the stairway, and it comes down into a metal hall that is lit by some ambient lighting. They still keep their lantern up. And a short passageway leads to another passage. Testermon and Snoofledoog are here. There's doors, double doors straight ahead, or the passageways to the left and to the right. Take off the bottom so I can't see it. Lay them out randomly. So this hallway goes down here. And this hallway goes here and has doors along the way. Okay. Doing okay on glare, I think, for the most part. All right, excellent. All right, so let's see if there is anything in these hallways, in this ruin of the underground ruin of the ancients, revealed in the lantern light or the amber lighting. So for this tile here, there'll be something there in a 1. Now, what I'll do is I'll count the whole tile, including those 4 rooms that they are entering into, as to whether there's something in it or not. And the same for this one. So this one, there doesn't appear to be anything going on, and there doesn't appear to be anything going on here. So they look both ways. They have the double door ahead, but there's hallways here. So I think for the camera's purposes, I'll tell you what, I'll randomly determine whether this is a dead end and if that's a dead end, or if they continue. So on a 1, I'll go 50% chance. 50% chance. 1 to 3, this is a dead end. It is a dead end. 1 to 3, this is a dead end. It's a dead end. All right, so they need to search the doors. They open the doors, dust inside the rooms. They decide to split up, search the rooms real quick. And I suppose I should roll randomly to see if there are any lost loot. Now, I'm going to assume that this area has been pretty well looted at some point in the past. I know it seems to be dusty and so forth. By the way, the main area is not dusty. The double doors they have not yet opened. So I'm going to roll, I think there's only a 10% chance that, that's pretty good. 10% chance that there is any treasure in any of the tiles. The entire tiles. Okay, 20% chance. 65. In that tile, nothing. In the 2 rooms here, 10% chance. 19. Oh no, that's a 91 because this is the 10s. And on this tile, 90 because I said this is the 10s. All right, so they're, as I thought, is pretty well cleared out. They find nothing useful, no loot, just very small minor items. So they have the double door here. And it appears as if that those doors have a handle, so Gronk opens them, and revealed is, let's go, a passageway that leads, dead end here, leads to the left and the right. So Cherry Red's like, I don't know. I got a pretty bad feeling about this. So the Snoofle-Doog is like, whoa, starts to pull Testermon through this room into this passage, and goes to the right. And soon as he turns the corner, what he sees makes his blood run cold. Let's see. I had a special, I think one of these special tiles on to do it. All right. I swore I set that tile aside, but then I shuffled the cards, so. Well, I guess we could do that. This one will work. Maybe that one. Ooh, I like that. Okay. So, Snoofle-Doog comes around the corner. There's a room here. Behind them is another area. Kind of like a storage area. It kind of opens up in this little storage area, and there's stuff there. As soon as they enter into this area, as soon as they turn the corner, there appears to be webbing everywhere. The Snoofledoog stops and points with its nose straight into this room. And Testermon is standing there. Kathmandu comes around the corner. Gronk's there. Cherry Red also moved in there pretty quickly. And makes his blood freeze. Because in each one of these cylindrical rooms, well, it's not even a room. It's cylindrical, they're like glass tube cylinders. And inside are the 4 missing villagers. And webbing is everywhere. And here, up against this wall, oh, there's glare. Okay. So, see, there's 4 cylinders. Okay. And up against this wall here, yeah, I'll move this down here then, just for the purposes of the camera. Just kind of move it all down. Yeah, that's fine. All right. They see a mutant that is has the torso and arms and head and shoulders of a human, but the body of a massive spider in this area here. Pretty large, about as big as Gronk. And off to the sides, kind of hanging on the webs, are nasty-looking mutated spiders. Known to the people of this Wastelands, to this post-apocalyptic universe, as arachmons. But the other creature, they've never seen anything like her. Cherry Red also senses behind them more arachmons. And the creature that is part humanoid and part spider says, more food has stepped into my parlor. Welcome. Oh, so nice. I have already eaten one of these, and I was saving the other 3, but now I don't have to. And you, big fella, you will be scrumptious. And Gronk says, I don't think so. Release them, or you shall die. No, I don't think I will. And her eyes flare blue for half a second, and the arachmons start to advance upon the party. It is initiative. All right, so 2 dice for him, for Gronk. We're going... Testermon is 2 dice, and Kathmandu is 3 dice with a reroll, and Cherry Red is 3 dice with her improved agility. So initiative works in my game. If you've not been watching these videos, if they roll a 4 on any of their dice, they act before the creatures, and then any after. Kathmandu technically could re-roll one of these, but doesn't need to because the 6 gets the success. So they're all going to act before the spiders. The arachmons, sorry. And let's see what they're going to do. Cherry Red just opens fire with her pistol. Do that first. She fires at one. There are 2 arachmons coming from this way and 2 arachmons coming from this way. So 4 arachmons and the web mistress is what they're facing. Cherry Red lets off a shot, 5D with her pistol. All right, so doesn't roll 2 1s and it gets 4 successes. And so the arachmons have a decent defense of 4 and erases 3 of the hits. So takes 1 damage. Then and then kind of backs against this wall here. Kathmandu is going to fire her classic crossbow I think at the Arachmon that got shot by the pistol. Gonna go those two are gonna go that way. The other two will go this way into the main room. So she lifts her crossbow, fires it off at the one that got winged by Cherry Red's pistol. She gets 5D with that crossbow and gets to reroll because it technically counts as an agility test. I was gonna reroll one of these ones. All right, so crossbow gets 3 successes, and the Arachmon is not harmed. The attack goes wide. And then she also kind of puts her back to a wall. Well, we'll put her up here. Gets behind cover there. All right, so on the other side, Tester Mon is going to unleash a mental blast at the Web Mistress. So, but interestingly enough, the Web Mistress has mental defense, so she's actually going to get to roll a normally mental blast, and most attack mutations don't require any kind of defense roll. But in this case, the mental mutation of mental defense shield gives the Web Mistress a chance. And so, and that's even pretty good. So the mental blast that Testermon unleashes on her, we'll do that now. Goes at 3 dice. 6s are worth 2 successes. Gets 3, mental blast is a 3+ power, so actually gets 4 successes. But the Web Mistress has a mental defense shield. She has 3D power. Power level in her mutation, so she gets to roll 3 dice in defense, saving on 3s. So she saves 2 of the attacks successes, and so that means that 2 get through. So that's 2d3 damage. 5 damage to the Web Mistress. Could have been worse, Web Mistress. All right. Then we are going to move to Gronk. He ain't having it. He jumps in front of Testermon in the Snoofledoog and attacks one of the advancing Arachmons with his Railroad Tie club. And that is a pretty substantial blow. Okay. So, double check something on him. Yep. Additional successes on 5+. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. That is a solid hit on Arachmon. Maybe even going to splat this thing and watch its guts spread across the webbing of the room. All right, anyway, so they have 4 defense. And they save 2. So they still take 2, 4, 6, 7 damage. Not enough. These are very hardy creatures, but man, is that thing hurting. All right. That was quite a blow. All right, so the 2 Arachmons obviously attack Gronk because, you know, he's doing some damage. They are attacking with fangs. Fangs that are dripping with venom. Here we go. The Web Mistress is wielding a spear, by the way. All right, so, not very good. 2 successes from the one Arachmon and 2 successes from the other Arachmon. So he has a defense of 4. He has Car Hood Breastplate. So against the 2 there, saves, and against the 2 there, takes 1 damage. So he's gonna take 1 damage. And that moves us on to, we'll do the other 2 Arachmons. They just basically scurry up. Actually, one attacks Kathmandu and one goes and attacks Testermon. So these dice are Testermon. He gets attacked from behind. Ooh, that's 4 successes. Testermon has a 4 defense. And oof, only saves 1, takes 3 damage. Down to 12 stamina. And then must make a strength test or become paralyzed. So what I have. Yes. And fails. Seizes up. There's a Rackmon on him. The other Rackmon attacks Catmandu. Now, Catmandu is wearing relatively light armor, so this also counts as an agility test. So can re-roll a die. So she is rolling, well, she needs to be attacked first. So one of them attacks her. Oh, only one success. So Catmandu gets 4 defense, re-rolling a failed save if she wants. And she saves 2, no problem. And so we move to initiative. Now Testermon could be in some trouble. But that's why you have friends, right? Initiative. Then you roll 4s to act before. So Gronk acts after, as does Testermon, which I suppose makes sense. And then the other 2 go before the creatures. All right, so Cherry Red is technically enraged, and so fires her pistol. No, she's just gonna grab a battle axe and charge in on that Arachmon and try to take its attention off of her companion. So she attacks with 5D with her battle axe. She has shield up. And she gets 5 successes. Pretty good, pretty good. And they have a 4 defense. And only saves 1, takes 4 damage. And then it's still there, but it's starting to turn its attention to her. That could be pretty good. So then Catmandu, it's in his face, so she has to pull her short sword and attack with that. Short sword is a light weapon. It can use either strength for the attack dice or agility. Of course, she uses agility, so that means she can also re-roll one of these. And she gets 3 successes, stabs the Arachmon that's fighting her. It's dripping venom on her. Oh, wait, did anybody else get hit? Oh, Gronk got hit. He had to make a strength test. Yeah, oh yeah, made that easily to avoid the poison. So good thing I went back to that. Okay, anyway, so she's got 3 successes. And he saves 2 of them. So takes 2 damage. So that brings us to the Arachmons. One of them attacks Catmandu, gets 3 successes. Catmandu has a 4 dice. And saves 3. And there's 3 there, so good. And could even re-roll that too, so it actually saves... Oh no, not 6s don't count as 2s on defense. Sorry, so she does need that re-roll. Gets it. 3, avoids any damage. The Arachmon turns its attention to Cherry Red. Woo! So that's 4 successes. Cherry Red has a 5 defense, armor and shield. And oh my gosh, only saves 1. So that's 3 damage. And she must make a strength test. Or be paralyzed. What do I have the strength test at? Strength test is 4+. Yep. And she gets it. So she's good there. So she is not paralyzed, though the venom is coursing through her veins. Her human metabolism is fighting it off. And the Web Mistress, I think I forgot to attack the Web Mistress last time. So the Web Mistress, well, she's going to attack. She was gathering her things, studying her prey, seeing if she could have any weaknesses. Testermon is a weakness, but she's going to mental blast Gronk because she's pretty sure that Gronk doesn't have any kind of natural defense against her attack. So she has a power level of 3 dice in that. So she unleashes a mental blast on Gronk. 3+. And she gets 2 successes, so that's 2d3 damage on Gronk. He's got a splitting headache for 5 damage. He's not happy about that. And then, of course, the two Arachmons on him bite with their fangs. So the one does pretty well with 4 successes. And the other one has 3 successes. Still pretty decent. So he saves against the 4 successes and gets 2 successes. Ooh, he gets to reroll strength dice. I can remember that. Anyway, so he gets 2 successes, which brings it down to 2 damage. But that also means that he needs to make a strength test or be paralyzed. And he could reroll this one if he wanted, but yes, he made the save test and is not paralyzed. In the other attack, he has to ward off 3 damage. Ooh, yuck. Only wards off 1, takes 2, and must make a strength test of 4 or higher. He does, and he could reroll one of these if he wanted to, and is not paralyzed. Now, it's Tester Mon. Now, Tester Mon is physically paralyzed by the venom, but not mentally paralyzed, and decides that he is going to once again mental blast the web mistress. So he gets he's got 4 power die, 3 and mental blast, and gets 3 successes. And, of course, she gets a defense roll and saves all 3. So, Mental Blast does not take her by surprise. And then, Gronk smashes at the Arachmon that he hurt last time, re-rolling at least 1. That turned out pretty good. So 6, 7. He does 7 successes against its 4 defense, and it saves 2 and takes 5. Yep. So it is splatted on the ground. 1 less Arachmon to worry about. Now it is initiative. So let's see what happens. This could be a pretty big initiative. We'll see. And it looks like everybody goes before the web mistress and her minions. All right. So Gronk is not messing around. He's going to move forward on the web mistress. Doesn't necessarily take him out of combat with the Arachmon, so it doesn't necessarily get a free attack, but it still seems like it's focusing its attentions on him. Let's see what else. So he's going to take a swing at the web mistress, hanging out on the wall on her web. So he does not do well at all. 2 successes, even with a reroll. She is going to dodge that easily. And she does. There's 2 successes right there. The 2 5s. Okay. Well, she really must have skittered out of the way as his railroad tie club clanged down on this metal floor. Tester Mon knows that the key is her, but he also needs to clear the way for his buddy. And so he is going to mental blast the Arachmon that's attacking him. He thinks he might have better chance with that. And he gets 3 successes, and that's 3d3 against an unguarded mind. 2, 4, 5 damage on the other Arachmon that is attacking his friend. The other 2, Cherry Red's got her battle axe, fighting away with her battle axe, fighting the Arachmon that was on Testermon for a while. That's a pretty decent blow there. Woohoo! So that's a 2, 4, 5. 5 successes. Pretty good. And the creature tries to dodge. Ooh, dodges none of them. And that finishes it. Splat it, cut it right down its 8-eyed head, and killed the Arachmon. And then moves. No, I was going to stay here maybe and help her friend Kathmandu if he needs it. Speaking of which, Kathmandu attacks with her claws. She decided to attack with her claws. Oh my goodness. That also is an agility test, so doesn't get one success. Wow. That's the name of the game, kids. Or that's part of the game. Love it. Okay, so that Arachmon dodges out of the way of her raking claws. And the web mistress pounds Gronk with another mental blast. That's all she can do currently. She tries down with her spear. She doesn't think that's going to do much against this hulking mutant standing before her with a huge railroad tie club getting ready to smash her. And, oh boy, 2, 3, 4 successes. That could be bad. 43 damage, not so bad. 1, 2, 3, 6 total damage. So his stamina is now down to 5. He's getting worn down by the constant mental barrage of her powers as they slam into his mind. That could be a problem. And the other Arachmon attacks him as well. The one that Testermon was trying to, and gets 3 successes. And Gronk saves 2 of them. And takes 1 more damage and has to make a strength test against Venom. And needs a 4. And I think that's all of the enemies. Now, moving on to initiative. No, wait. Yeah. Initiative. Here we go. All right. Well, looks like Kathmandu. Looks like all of them are going before the creatures. That's very beneficial. All right. So, Gronk, once again, railroad tie, smack it up against the web mistress. 2, 4, 6, 7 successes. Gets to reroll. A failure. So 9 successes. That's pretty decent. She has a 5 defense and only absorbs 1 and takes 8 damage. Dang, that is a smash. She is hurting. She staggers on her, on her 8 legs, but musters enough to send off a mental blast before she goes down, unless Testermon's going after the Arachmon that's attacking Gronk. He cannot have that happening to him. So that's what he decided to do. And this is the final mental blast, I think. Oh, no, mental blast is once... I think I'm going to do a mental blast wrong. Once every 3 turns. Okay, so can't make a mental blast this turn. Is paralyzed for... This is her final round of being paralyzed by the Venom. So can't do anything. Because they're out of mental blasts for now. And so that brings us to Cherry Red's going to attack the one attacking her friend Kathmandu with her battle axe and gets 3 successes. The Arachmon dodges. No damage, no stamina damage. Then Kathmandu attacks with her claws. Oh my goodness, cannot hit with those claws at all. Gets a reroll one though, and still misses. Wow, okay. Kathmandu cannot seem to cut through that spider's defenses, the Arachmon's defenses. I believe that brings us to the Arachmon, so we'll have that Arachmon attack her right back. Yeah, 5D on her, Kathmandu. So that's 3 successes. Kathmandu needs to dodge. And gets 3 successes there. So dodges out of the way. So dodge for a dodge. There you go. They're at a stalemate. Then Cherry. Oh, okay. So that's it there. And then the other one attacks Gronk with its dripping fangs. That's a decent attack. 4, 5, 6 successes. Gronk. Absorbs only 1, takes 5 damage, and that puts him down. He's got to make a death save. Not looking great for the home team. And then the Web Mistress pounds Tester Mon with a mental blast. Oh, wait, she can't do mental blast either. It's got to be once every 3. So, yeah, so she's going to hold off on her mental blast. Rush forward and wrap Gronk up in a web, just in case he recovers. No, she can't do that. She already acted. Sorry. I'm just trying to figure out what. No, I guess that's it. It's initiative. Yeah, initiative. Because they attacked. They attacked. Yep, cool. Got lost there for a second, but I'm back. All right, here we go. I guess Gronk doesn't really... Oh, Gronk, yeah, rolls to see when he makes his death save. And the rest of them go before. As I mentioned before, Tester Mon has shaken off the effects of the venom. So he's going to go forward, and he is going to... what does he have? 3. Healing Touch Gronk. That doesn't count as a mind test, so cannot re-roll it because it's a power thing. But still gets a success. Oh, my goodness. All right, so heals 1, brings him up to 1, but that also means he doesn't have to take a death save. But his eyes flutter open, and he's very weak. But he stands up. There's a Rackmon next to him. The Web Mistress is next to him. And he takes a swing with his axe. Now, I'm going to say, because he's just recovering, he has 1 less die on this swipe at the Web Mistress. And that is 5 successes. And she has a 5 defense, I believe. Yes, she does. 5 successes. She gets 3. So it gets rid of 2. I mean, gets rid of 3, it takes 2. All right, she's still wobbling about there. Then the other 2, they're going to Battle Axe on the Arachmon. Gets 2 successes. That Arachmon saves, dodges out of the way. All right, we're going to see if no actual successes on an attack for the 3rd round in a row. Let's see if we can do that. That'd be like record setting. So she swipes at the Arachmon with her claws. Ooh, close. Close. Oh, I love it. Oh, okay, good. So it has 4 successes that time. And it absorbs 1, takes 3. It's not enough to fell it, but she got through, and ichor seeps from its wounds. All right, that was everybody on this side, so now it's their turn. The Web Mistress does not yet have a mental blast, nor does Tester Mon, so the Web Mistress is going to stab Gronk with her spear. Because she has a spear. And she gets 3 successes. So he has to save against 3 successes. Let's see if we can do it. And he only saves 1. So that's 2. Drops him down again. The Arachmon wraps him up in web. So he'll have to break free of the web even if he survives. The other Arachmon attacks Kathmandu because it's just got a thing for Kathmandu. Dripping Fangs attack Kathmandu. Gets 4 successes. Kathmandu gets 2, since it's agility, 3, so it takes 1 damage. And must make a strength test. Got it. Needed a 4, got a 5. The poison does not affect her. So now that is all of the opponents. We go to initiative. All right. Tester Mon has 2 more healing touches, but guess what? Tester Mon does not go before the enemy. but everybody else does. Okay, so here, this is how this is going to work. I'm going to have... Yeah, Gronk's just going to have to... Might as well just make his death save now. All right, so he gets to make a strength test. He also gets to re-roll one of these failed ones. He just needs a 4 to stabilize, and he gets that easily. So he's stabilized, but at 0 stamina. Then Battle Axe at the Arachmon. Man, only 1 success. That stinks, but that's the way it goes. And the Arachmon saves it easily. Good thing I wasn't an attack. And 5 claw. This must be like the luckiest spider creature in the entire wasteland. He unleashes with his claws, and all of them hit finally. 2, 4, 6, 7 successes on the Arachnid. It absorbs 2. It has 5. Oop, has 1 more die for defense. Will this kill it? Nope. Yes, kills it. Dead. So they kill their opponent. She kills her opponent, so they've attacked. They're down to 1 Arachmon and the Web Mistress. So they attack. The Arachmon runs and attacks Testermon. And gets 3 successes. Testermon has a 4 defense. And dodges the attack. Nicely done, Testermon. The Web Mistress does not yet have a Mental Blast attack. So skitters around this side of Gronk and attacks Testermon with her spear. And that's 3 successes. And Testermon avoids... Oop, 1 more die. Avoids 1, so it takes 3 damage. And Testermon decides that he is going to... Oh, he has to make a strength test against Venom. That she has her spear envenomed. And he fails it and is paralyzed. So this is getting dicey. All right, so that's all the enemy. And now Testermon goes. The next round, each of them gets their Mental Blast back. He currently doesn't have a Mental Blast. Cannot move to literally touch either his wound or Gronk's to bring him up because he is now paralyzed. So that is rough. So we'll wait for the next round for the Mental Blast if he survives. And now here comes initiative. This is going to be very crucial. Will the other 2 be able to get over and rescue their friend? We shall find out. Ooh, so Gronk goes after the enemy. Everybody else goes before. That is good. All right, so Cherry Red's going to not be able to squeeze in there. So they're basically going to fire. She's going to fire a gun. He wings up his she's bringing up her crossbow, and they're going to fire at the Arachmon that's attacking Testermon because the Web Mistress is basically behind this tank where the other villager is being held captive. So they're just going to try to take out the other Arachmon. Pistol, 5 dice. Lets off a shot. Gets, and that's agility. She doesn't have that yet. So 3 successes on that Arachmon. And absorbs 2, takes 1. And then a light crossbow bolt flies towards it. 5 dice. And ooh. All right, so 3 successes. And it absorbs 2, takes 1. Still up, still fighting. And Testermon gonna blast the Web Mistress with a Mental Blast. So gets 3 successes. She does get a save. And saves all 3. So Mental Blast does not harm does not harm the Web Mistress at all. Which brings us to their action. The Arachmon wraps up Testermon in a web on that round. So now is pretty much restrained. And the Web Mistress fires a Mental Blast at Kathmandu and gets 3 successes. I think. Oh wait, is Mental Blast 3 or 4? I can't remember. I just really looked at it. Yep, 3. And does 1, 2, 4. 4 total damage against Kathmandu, bringing down to 10. Her down to 10. And so now that means Gronk has to make a death save. And makes it easily, and is basically tied up in a web and unconscious. It's just unconscious, but it's 0. All right. Woo. So that brings us to initiative. Gronk is out of the initiative. Testermon. Testermon is paralyzed and webbed up, but can get off a Mental Blast. Maybe I should have got off a Mental Blast last. Oh well, he was so stunned that he couldn't. He is out of the initiative. So we'll do this. And whew, so they all go before us. So that's going to be pretty big. Oh yeah, no, Testermon did do a, that's right, Testermon did do a Mental Blast against the Web Mistress, but she deflected it, and so they're both out of Mental Blasts now, but Testermon is paralyzed for 3 rounds, and so is in trouble. But, so Kathmandu says, I got a beat on the Web Mistress, you take out the Arachmon. So here they go. For all the marbles, basically. Kathmandu fires a light crossbow at the Web Mistress. Pretty decent. All right, that's pretty good. 6 successes. She's a very dodgy opponent, though. 5 defense dice. And she absorbs 2, so still takes 4, and that's enough to fell the Web Mistress. She falls to the ground. Cherry Red points her pistol, and shoots off a shot at the remaining Arachmon. 5 dice. Well, 3 successes is better than no successes. And it absorbs 1, takes 2, and that is enough to drop that one. Nice. Pistol to the dome. And it collapses. Its legs curl up. Whew. What a fight, they say. They go over and they cut the webbing with blades, get the webbing off of their friends. Gronk is unconscious. Testermon is paralyzed for a short time. Eventually, Testermon gets up. Now, of the 4, I'm going to roll randomly to see which one is dead. And it is Kresha. Oop, no, I counted wrong. Hunk. Hunk is dead. But they're going to bring Hunk's body back. But they don't know how to get these things open. He's got 1 healing touch left. He uses it on Gronk. Oof. Only gets 1 success. And 3. So he's up to 3 stamina. And that's it. They're all pretty banged up a little bit, except for Cherry Red. So they're like, Gronk's like, I'll just tear open the doors. So he makes a strength check to tear them open. 1, needs a 5. 2, 3, 4. Okay, he rips open all 4 doors. They're webbed up. They find that Hunk is a desiccated husk, but they bring them out. They lay them down. They're still unconscious. They lay them down on the floor. they go out into the other room where they came, and they decide that they're going to rest in one of those rooms that they explored earlier, because they're in no condition to go anywhere. So they bring their over here, and they're going to stay the night in these rooms, and they're wounded. So that's where we're going to end for tonight. Beginning of next episode, they are going to try to awaken the villagers and get them back to Crater Town, and hopefully that trip will be uneventful. All right, once again, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for coming along with me on this journey. I hope you enjoyed that. We'll see what happens next in next episode. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, keep on rolling dice and playing games. Thank you so much, and Magehammer out.